Tonight on CTV News at 5.
We are seeing high levels of flu activity.
Catching fast, an early surge in flu has Maritimers and the healthcare system feeling the strain.
She just reflects back everything the rider is doing and helps us then improve to be a better rider for our horses.
Back in the saddle, a new high-tech simulator in the Annapolis Valley gives riders an authentic equestrian experience.
It's all for the community, it's all for the kids, and it's all to make sure that people know that, you know, it's a big smile on their faces.
And Holiday House, you don't have to go to the North Pole to visit this winter wonderland.
A cool evening and night ahead with conditions turning rainy and windy for the Maritimes on Friday.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Peno-Palace. Thank you for joining us. First at 5 tonight, sick season. Chances are you or someone you know is coping with seasonal illness right about now. In fact, an already overwhelmed healthcare system is trying to keep up with a surge in flu and other respiratory illnesses. As CTV's Laura Brown shows us, there's been an early uptick in cases compared to other years, and healthcare providers are urging caution. Laura.
That's right, Maria. There's definitely concern out there. The flu is hitting us earlier this season and a little harder, especially among children. All three maritime provinces are reporting the same thing. Influenza cases are rapidly rising earlier than in past years.
We are seeing high levels of flu activity across all of our emergency departments. And so we've certainly activated our plans.
As of today, everyone attending a Nova Scotia health facility is required to wear a mask to try and stop the spread of these respiratory illnesses.
Flu always moves from west to east, and so we're a little bit behind. But we are starting to see in the last couple of weeks a significant increase on influenza activity, which is 2 to 3 weeks earlier than we normally see it.
Ottawa Public Health announced Monday that 3 children have died from influenza-related complications. They were between the ages of 5 and 9. The Maritimes are also seeing an increase in infections among children. PEI is reporting its rates are highest among those 5 to 19, followed by those 0 to 4 years old. Experts say it's not too late to get the vaccine, even if it's not a perfect match.
Despite what they hear with regards to mismatch and that type of thing that's being reported, they have to realize that there is cross protection still within the vaccine. So it's, it is very, very important that they don't dismiss it.
Bacone says last year saw an extremely low uptake in the flu vaccine. So this year, New Brunswick pharmacists are seeing a 10 to 15% increase compared to last. That tracks with what Nova Scotia is experiencing, says Dr. Robert Strang.
I think there has been a slipping back. People say, oh, we're done with the pandemic, so kind of back to normal. But my hope is that we learned some things from the pandemic and that we tend to be too complacent about respiratory viruses. So it's really important that people understand that getting vaccinated against these viruses, it protects them, but it's also very important for protecting others around them.
Dr. Strang says the H3 strain that we're seeing usually affects children and seniors most, and it has proven to be more infectious and in some cases severe. On a bit of a brighter note, COVID and RSV cases seem to be a little lower at this point in the season, but experts warn we can't be complacent, especially over the holidays. Maria.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Laura. CTV's Laura Brown for us in Fredericton this evening. You don't want to turn your Christmas dinner into a super spreader event, that's for sure. All right, let's head over to the anchor desk where Todd Battis is standing by with a look at the headlines. Hi there, Todd.
Hi there, Maria. The Nova Scotia government is projecting a bigger budget deficit with a final tally expected to grow to $1.29 billion. Now that's roughly $64.5 million more than predicted in September. Healthcare spending and tax cuts largely make up that deficit increase. We will hear the details from Jesse Thomas at 6 o'clock. The New Brunswick government has released its strategy on homelessness. The goal is to reduce it by 40% in the next 4 years. The plan involves several departments, including health and justice and housing being involved, but advocates say this is the first time they're getting a look at the plan. Bit of a holiday tradition for Maritimers, a feed of lobster at Christmas time. And though it's rare to find a meal less expensive this year, the price of lobster seems to be dropping. We'll head to the wharf and find out what it means for those in the industry and those looking for some cheaper food. Kayla Mitchell in the Weather Center. Talk about things improving. We are in for some warm winter warm-up, though it will come at an expense in the next day or so.
Yeah, you don't often get low teens this time of the year without a good deal of wind to accompany them. That's what's headed our way for tomorrow. Today, though, was a very nice day. Temperatures this evening are cool to chilly in the region, ranging from mostly a few degrees below to a few degrees above the freezing mark. Speaking of the winds, they're on the lighter side right now, and they'll continue that way for tonight into the start of the day for tomorrow. Out of the south and southwest tonight, becoming sustained between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour, with a few gusts between 20 and 40. Not much showing up on radar and satellite, though we will be seeing some increasing cloudiness as we move through tonight. And if you've been with me over the past couple of days, you know that that is arriving ahead of our next weather maker, which has been this large winter storm system, which has been making its way across the country, bringing blizzard conditions to parts of the prairies and a very heavy snowfall to areas of northern Ontario and northern Quebec. This is the part of the weather system, though, we end up on here in the Maritimes, and it's the rainy and windy side of it. We do have some warnings that have been issued, though. We have wind warnings now in effect across the south of New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and across Nova Scotia. Friday afternoon through Saturday morning, those winds ramp up and will include some gusts of 70 to 90 kilometers per hour, except up to 110 on exposed areas of the coast. Gusts for northern Inverness County and Cape Breton could reach 120 kilometers per hour Friday night into Saturday morning because of the topography of the Cape Breton Highlands. Those wind warnings are accompanied by rain warnings in parts of the south of New Brunswick, areas of mainland Nova Scotia and Victoria County and Cape Breton. All of more on that inclement weather coming up a little bit later on. Maria.
Lots to keep an eye on. Thank you, Kaylin. We'll see you in just a bit. Right now, though, an update. Last night, we told you about popular Cape Breton musician Ashley McIsaac, who's been facing serious fallout after an AI search confused him with a sex offender with a similar last name. The Maritime fiddler says the erroneous results are costing him his reputation and his livelihood.
I've already had gigs canceled. I don't know how many have not followed through because of it. It's completely false. It's completely wrong. And I'm not sure where it's going to lead as far as my work and my personal security.
Incidents like these are known as AI confabulations, where unrelated information is combined. Now, since our report aired, Google has responded to us. In a statement, a spokesperson told us this result is no longer appearing. Search, including AI overviews, is dynamic and frequently changing to show the most helpful information. When issues arise, like if our features misinterpret web content or miss some context, we use those examples to improve our systems and may take action under our policies. Now, if you'd like to see the full report that aired last night, you can go to our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. Time for our first break here on CTV News at 5, but here's a preview of a couple of the stories we're still working on this evening.
I'm Josh Smith in Dieppe. You've heard of Elf on the Shelf, but have you ever heard of Elf in the Airport? He's helping travelers fly a little smoother this holiday season. More on that coming up on CTV News at 5.
Hi there, I'm Melanie Talliard at Willow and Withers Stables, and I'm here with Willow. She's a horse simulator, and she can do everything a regular horse can do. I'll tell you more about her coming up.
Welcome back. Atlantic Canada's first Racewood Dressage Pro Horse Simulator is on track. CTV's Mike Lamb puts us in the saddle at the Willow and Withers Horse Riding Stable to experience the cutting-edge technology. Okay, you ready?
Hi, I'm Melanie Talliard, owner of Willow and Withers. We're a boarding barn down in the valley. We're in Sheffield Mills today, and I'm standing here with Willow, who is a Racewood Dressage Pro horse simulator, who has just arrived from the UK about 10 days ago, and we've been having a lot of fun with her. A couple years ago, I was looking for a way to train for my own horse work, and I wanted to train in a way that I wasn't putting my mistakes on my horse. So I just started looking, what sort of devices are there, almost like a treadmill, but for a horse, so I could train. And I discovered these simulators and quickly found out there wasn't really anything in Nova Scotia. I found one in Toronto and did some really impactful training for a couple days. And I fell in love with the tool and thought, we need this. Not only can she help us to learn all kinds of skills, she has a really neat module where she'll do an assessment of your riding, looking at all the biomechanics, how balanced you are in your seat. She just reflects back everything the rider is doing and helps us then improve to be a better rider for our horses.
So it definitely feels like a real horse. She's quite smooth, so you don't have to be scared of falling off, and she definitely doesn't buck her rear or do anything real crazy. It's really neat if you are maybe a higher level rider and you're wanting to refine your leg yields or your half pass. She can do all of the things, really. She's much better trained than my horse is.
So right now you can book in for an initial assessment. It's all online, really easy to book online. It's incredibly authentic. You know, you have a good ride and you find yourself patting her neck and saying thank you to her. So they feel that it's a real horse while you're on there. She's been getting some miles on her for sure.
Good girl.
Well done. Thanks for sharing, you guys. And that's the kind of horse riding you can do any time of year, any weather.
Absolutely, and probably a step up from the coin-operated one that you can find in the mall.
I would say many, many steps up.
Reminding me, though, that I should book some time into a golf simulator as we get into the winter weather. Speaking of which, the day today was actually pretty nice around the Maritimes. We had the sun break through. Temperatures on the slightly milder side for this far into the month of December. We're looking out here at Little River Reservoir in St. John. Big changes coming up for our weather tomorrow. All more on that next.
It was Toronto versus Montreal as part of the PWHL's takeover tour at Halifax's Scotiabank Centre last night. It turned out to be a homecoming of sorts for some players and staff, including Stellarton's Blair Turnbull, Ali Monroe from Yarmouth, and Spryfield's Troy Ryan behind the bench. Corey Chevery from New Glasgow was drawing up plays on the Montreal side, inspired by fans were inspired, I should say, to line up early to get inside.
I love the girls and how they're so determined in the game and how they're so focused, and I just love how women are so brave and strong.
Last night's Halifax game was one of 16 neutral site games that are part of the takeover tour. In the end, Montreal doubled Toronto 2-1. Ottawa is scheduled to take on Boston in Halifax on January 11th. Wow, Kaylin. The crowd was wound up and the seats were filled.
Yeah, it looks like it was a big success. I love this takeover idea, getting out there and like playing in stadiums where the teams normally wouldn't be. It's fantastic.
What a turnout too.
Yeah.
Awesome. What a gorgeous shot you've got here.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of fantastic, got some fantastic drone footage here from earlier today. This is coming in from our own Daryl Reeves, sent in from North Sydney in Cape Breton. Sure was nice to see some sunshine, have some fair weather conditions in the Maritimes for today, because we don't quite have that fair weather in the forecast for tomorrow. It's not too bad for first part of Friday, like Friday morning, but weather conditions definitely deteriorate as we move from the afternoon into Friday evening and Friday night. Now, currently, we're underneath high pressure here in the Maritimes. Barometric pressure sitting above 1,020 millibars for all three Maritime provinces, thanks to this area of high pressure, which is now sitting just to the east of the region. Now, the fact that it's moved a little bit towards the east is going to allow for this low pressure system to begin to approach. Once again, it's not moving directly into the Maritimes, but more up the St. Lawrence River Valley and through Quebec. That keeps us on the warmer eastern side of it, but the squeeze between that storm system and that area of high pressure is going to drive some stronger winds for us, especially as we get into Friday evening and Friday night. Taking a look at things on radar right now, nothing showing up. As we move through this evening, just a few clouds around, followed by some increasing cloudiness during the overnight hours. Cloud cover continues to come into the Maritimes as we move into and through Friday morning, getting lower and lower, especially for western parts of the region. And the first of the rain may start to show up by around early Friday afternoon, first for the province of New Brunswick and southwestern areas of Nova Scotia. But the rain really ramps up and the winds along with it as we move from Friday afternoon into Friday evening and night. You can see that big area of green just make its way into the region. And then as we head through the evening hours and into the overnight, the rain and the strongest winds shift eastward across the Maritimes, coming across central Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and into the east of Nova Scotia, including Cape Breton. The rain and the strong southerly winds then clear to the northeast of the Maritimes very early Saturday morning, but in behind it, there'll be some scattered showers, some scattered flurries for Saturday, and a gusty and colder west wind. Taking a look at the winds in the forecast over the next 24 hours or so. Here we are first thing Friday morning. They're starting to pick up a little bit from the south and southwest at that point in time, but overall weather conditions not too bad, again, to start the day for tomorrow. Then they really pick up as we move from Friday afternoon into Friday evening. And this is when we could start getting into those gusts of 70 to 100 kilometers per hour on the south of New Brunswick, around areas of Nova Scotia and for Prince Edward Island, with those very strong southerly winds then working their way eastward as we move through the night into early Saturday morning. Remember, northern Inverness County and Cape Breton, because of the topography of the Cape Breton Highlands, talking about a lace wet wind here. Some of those wind gusts could be up to 120 kilometers per hour or higher. Taking a look at temperatures in the forecast for tonight. It's really at its coldest this evening around the Maritimes. That's when we're going to hit some low temperatures that'll range from a few degrees below to a few degrees above the freezing mark. And then temperatures actually begin to rise during the overnight in that developing southwest wind. In the forecast for tomorrow, in those strong southerly winds, temperatures certainly get a boost up around the region. A lot of high temperatures tomorrow, expected to be in the range of around 11 to 15 degrees for the Maritimes. That, of course, is well above seasonable for this far into December. All right, let's take a look at our Weather Watcher for tonight. And tonight's Weather Watcher is coming in from 6-year-old Rosalind Caro of St. George, New Brunswick. Rosalind has sent us a drawing of playing in the snow by a big gingerbread house. Thank you, Rosalind. And Weather Watchers can come into CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. So an elf has taken over the Greater Moncton International Airport, but he's not causing mischief. Instead, as CTV's Josh Smith shows us, he's helping travelers through the holiday rush.
Lines are longer, bags are heavier, patience are tested. The airport can be a stressful place, especially during the holidays, but here at YQM, there is one elf who is trying to make that journey easier and more festive. His name is Flea.
The YQM Magic campaign with Flea was really to bring the audience through a fun and engaging way that would be memorable for them to see what are holiday travel tips that they need to remember when coming to the airport, preparing for their travel. It is a busy season.
A social media campaign highlights simple reminders like allowing extra time, preparing for security screening, and knowing what to expect when traveling during the holidays, especially with service animals.
It can be a really stressful time, and some people may travel with those service animals, and we wanted to make sure that they understood that they're welcomed and where they can go in the airport.
Joe Winberg is the real-life elf on the shelf and an employee at the Moncton Airport.
A human life-size elf running around the airport. It's not something that is normally done. I have fun doing it. I have a lot of fun just coming up with the ideas of what to do. The actual putting on the outfit and doing it, well...
Airport officials say the response has been encouraging, bringing lots of engagement online and smiles in person.
Overwhelming positive response. We, tried this. Marketing is sometimes trial and error. The community really picked up on it. We saw a lot of reshares through our social media.
Flea is back in the North Pole now, but it's hoped his magic stays with travelers all season long. Do you think we'll see Flea at the airport next Christmas?
So we're hoping to continue the YQM Magic for the following holiday seasons to come.
Josh Smith, CTV News, Dieppe.
Now all the airports are going to want one. Time for a break. When we come back, a house that's aglow with holiday cheer.
So my name is Paul Bowden. I live in Motorcycle. I cannot wait to show you our lights on CTV Live at 5.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter.
We're giving away $20,000 to one lucky Move family member tomorrow with Move's 20K holiday.
Consider it our Christmas gift to you. We'll give it away just after 8 o'clock.
Welcome back. So a Nova Scotia man goes above and beyond every Christmas to deck the halls. As CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us, his decorative display only has one goal: to put a smile on the face of anyone who sees it.
Cavalier Drive in Lower Sackville, Nova Scotia is normally quiet. But that's until around November, when this house on the corner gets ready for Christmas.
Half of the things you see or hear now are really not even half the things I got, because I don't have enough room for all the things I got.
It's a tradition owner Paul Bowden says came alive 27 years ago when he was visiting his in-laws who had their home decked out. He came back and decided to do the same.
From that day on, I just continued to put up lights in the house, buy lights, buy ornaments, and hopefully it brings a smile to the community and a smile to people's faces.
And whether big or small, he has it all.
I like to try to buy something that no one has. And what I do is I just go by and I think it's going to fit in the spot, and then I just put it in the spot.
And at nighttime, the display is even more electrifying with thousands of lights. It's a passion close to his heart that has braved many storms.
14 years ago, we had some kids ransack some of the ornaments I had here, and the community rallied around me. And they bought me items. They went to Canadian Tire and bought me lights. And one of the messages that they sent me was, please don't stop doing what you're doing. And then I vowed just to make it bigger and bigger and better.
It quickly became something special in the community.
I have 3 sons. When they were younger, they used to come by this house, and they always told me how nice it was and how welcoming they felt.
Well, we have 2 kids, small kids, and they love to see the lights over here. We just bought the house in 2022. From that time onwards, this is a tradition. They love it.
Sometimes you might see someone having a bad day, or some kids having a bad day, or families having a bad day.
But if they pass by his house and a smile creeps on their face, he knows it's a mission accomplished. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Lower Sackville, Nova Scotia.
Thank you, Vanessa. And it's true, you can't go past that display and not feel a little bit of holiday joy. Come on.
Yeah, it looks great. I know there's a number of places like that, all done up very nicely in holiday decorations. I've mentioned this a couple times before. I'll mention it one more time.
Batten down the hatches.
We do have some strong winds headed our way tomorrow into especially the evening and nighttime hours. We have wind warnings in effect for parts of the Maritimes. Any holiday decorations you have out that could be easily damaged or blown around, you might want to think about securing. And of course, we'll talk more about that coming up 6.
Good advice. Yeah, we'll see you and Todd and Katie at 6 o'clock. I'll see you tomorrow. The national news is next. Good night.